Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Mattel DC Comics Multiverse Suicide Squad Rick Flagg. Rick includes accessories, that's all it says, accessories. He's actually not part of the Collect and Connect Killer Croc, and all the more reason why I actually reviewed this guy after we had a look at the Killer Croc figure. Down below there's a picture of him. He also was the new RoboCop, to some lesser fan reviews of RoboCop. Not a lot of people like that movie. There's the package, also Rick Flagg showing there. And on the back of the package, another figure I didn't pick up was Diablo. You've got Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Boomerang, Katana, and Batman. No read-up also mentioned at the top of the package, but that's okay. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, though, we're going to get a better look at, well, a guy who wasn't part of the Collect and Connect wave, but nonetheless was part of the Suicide Squad. We're going to have a look at Suicide Squad member Rick Flagg. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Rick Flagg comes with a series of different accessories. He comes with a couple of different rifles. He comes with, I guess, a grenade launcher. Not really up in with the firearms. I guess that would probably be a good thing, but he comes with a series of larger rifles and firearms. He also comes with himself a much smaller little pistol, and he comes with what I can only imagine to be a really stumpy knife. Now, some of the accessories, while not the bigger ones, but some of the smaller accessories, such as the pistol, can be housed in the side holster of his belt, like that. I don't see a section, though, that would support his... Oh, yes, I do. It's right at the top there. Can't see for looking, as they say. He also can hold his knife up at the top there as well. No real areas to hold these, but at least he's got the proper hands to hold the firearms fairly adequately. Although I have to admit, the handles of the firearms and the larger ammunition, as it will, the handles are quite large, so you do have to really finagle them to get them into his hands properly. But he does hold both if he wants guns a-blazing, like so. Probably will just likely display him with one of the guns and not go overly crazy with it. Just put those to the side. It's to note as well that these are softer rubber, which I guess helps in the regards of the handle, but still the handles are awfully big. Put those to the side. As for the figure itself, it's not bad. It's from looking at the other Suicide Squad members, I would say he's middle of the mark. I feel like he's better than Katana. Perhaps slightly better than Joker, but I don't feel he's as good as, say, the Deadshot, the Harley Quinn, and Boomerang. The likeness isn't bad, although I do find that the QC issue, and I guess maybe it's just what they opted to go with, but I don't know if this is on every figure, but it looks like his beard has enveloped his lower lip. If you look at the box art and really look at the character, the goatee I don't think is growing on his lower lip. In fact, it should be below his lip. But ultimately, though, the figure, as you can hopefully see, you see it right there? The goatee is actually on his lower lip. I think that's, I want to say that's impossible, but science always finds a way. Maybe there's people out there that have facial hair growing on their lips. Could you imagine? That would be disgusting. The rest of his body is pretty primary in the regards that there's not really a lot of oomph. Not a lot of oomph. Not to say that the character had a lot of oomph, but like his overall package, if you will, is kind of like a mustard beige. Then he's got a slightly green-based beige, and then he's got a little broken up areas of black. The black actually is well received because the black breaks up some of just the very, I don't want to say boring colors, because that's again what he was based from, but there's not really a lot of, again, I want to say oomph into this figure. They did go a fairly good job on sculpting the vest that he wears, so you can see that there's some magazine clips there. And equally so, if I just move the arms out of the way, his belt is also pretty good. Although things such as walkie-talkies with long antennas, unfortunately suffer being that they are rubber. They would suffer even further if they were plastic because they'd be likely breaking off. But it comes across like very thin, very squishy looking accessories. Got a couple of magazine clips on the back there, smaller ones on the front. This whole harness area is not, it doesn't seem like it's a loose piece. Normally, if it was a Marvel Legends, I would almost expect this just to be flopping all over the place, but this is actually more affixed to his torso. I think that's a much better route than just having a very loose belt that's just shifting all over the place. When it comes to his articulation, it's about what you would expect. There's nothing really drastic. There's no game changer here, guys. There's no game changer in the way of his posability. It's about run-of-the-mill. Posability on Rick Flagg. His head is on a ball joint, although for the life of me, I can't get the head to actually hinge up or down. It almost seems like a non-existent. It could have also just been a peg joint for what little you can really do with his head. He has a hinge joints on both his arms, not just the one, but both. They hinge out, full rotation all the way around. There's a rotation on the bicep. He has a hinge on the elbow, which also allows the forearm to rotate all the way around. The one thing you have to be careful of, though, is knowing where the joint is, because the sleeves do a pretty good job of hiding it, that you want to make sure that you have the proper bend. And the bend is more so seemingly at the front than this way here. He has a full rotation on the hand. He doesn't have, well, he has a crunch, but let me just add to that. His crunch seems a little on the restricted side. Not so much forward and back, but when you get it too far back, it starts hitting the magazines on the back of his belt. I guess that's as far back as his back really should go anyways, so it's not probably something I should be complaining too much about. He has a waist swivel, and the waist swivel is actually right above his belt, as opposed to below. Forward and back motion on the legs, split on the legs, swivel, mid-swivel thigh cut, hinge on a single hinge knee, well, hinged on both knees, but a single joint rather than two joints, and a hinge on the foot. No real ankle pivot though, unfortunately. Once again, they tease you with peg holes on the undersides of their feet, but you know, if you would to look around for a display stand that comes in this package, you would find zero. No display stands. The figure is good. I mean, to be added to the rest of the Suicide Squad is perfect. Makes sense to pick up Diablo and Rick Flagg. Flagg, I just happened to stumble into him. I didn't like walk into him. I didn't bump or trip over the packaging. But I found it at Walmart, of all places. They didn't have any of the other Suicide Squad members. Zip. But they had Rick Flagg. And that was actually the only, or one of the only figures I was still missing from this set. Call it karma. Call it the universe calling down to me and saying, hey, buddy, we're looking out for you. But I was able to find this guy. And actually, they had 3 of them. So it wasn't like he was just one of a kind. Worth picking up, yes, if you are collecting the other Suicide Squad members. No, I would say if you just want to pick up a Rick Flagg, I guess if you want to pick up a Rick Flagg figure just on his own, go ahead, by all means. But I don't think it's a figure you're going to be picking up unless you've already been picking up the other Suicide Squad members. Today's Toy Spot, we were somewhat continuing our looks at the Suicide Squad figures, even though technically this guy wasn't part of the Collect and Connect wave. Today, we're having a look at Rick Flagg. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. As always, thanks for watching, as you always do. I'll see you next time.